It's overcast, and yet I'm still making a video. Who knows? Today I want to talk about something that's fairly polarizing. Feminism. Oh yeah, I can feel the alt-right tighten their buttholes in rage, and I can feel the social justice warriors releasing their buttholes in righteous fury. Hi, I'm Talis, and I consider myself a feminist. I know what you're thinking. I really need to close that window because I can hear all the cars. I know what you're thinking. But you wear makeup and you shave your armpits. How can you possibly be a feminist? So you're thinking of vegans. The problem with being a feminist in today's day and age is that you can't call yourself a feminist anymore, because the second you say the word feminist in the presence of anyone, you just get an instant reaction of, oh my god, do you hate men? No, I don't. Why do you think I hate men? They make up 50% of the population. Why would you think I would write off 50% of the population like they've been doing to women for thousands of years? That's off topic. Problem is that I think we've misdefined feminism in the 21st century. I think what it used to be isn't considered what it is now. It's like how a lot of people think of ISIS as being Muslims when they're not. They're a fringe group of radicals that will do anything for an excuse to hurt someone. And that's what social justice warriors are considered by today's society. They're considered to be feminists. And they're not. They're not. Because they take things way too far. Let me explain. Feminism is defined as the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. Now, that's the dictionary definition. Anywhere in that definition, does it say that feminists hate men? Or that feminists want to be above men? Or that feminists want to berate people and get in their face and argue over the tiniest little things? No. We just want women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes, because things are not equal. And even when they are equal, you can still consider yourself a feminist, because you're standing up for the rights of what makes you, as a human being, a person. Obviously, having said that, there'll be people going, well, then why can't I be a men's rights activist? Because men have all the rights, and men have had all the rights for a long time. This is the problem with this and the Black Lives Matter movement, is they're misconstrued. People will talk about Black Lives Matter as being racist in its own right because it segregates black people from white people. But that's just not the point. The point is Black Lives Matter too. Essentially they're saying Black Lives Matter as well as all the rest of those lives matter. Black Lives Matter people don't argue that only Black Lives Matter. That would be ridiculous. Just like feminists as a whole don't argue that only women's lives matter, because that's ridiculous. And look, you can argue till the cows come home about money on the dollar, about general sexual assaults, about various things that women are just generally slightly less better off. And you can say that none of that's true, that all of the statistics are made up, that they don't account for various things, whatever. A lot of feminists are just like me, just living my life, just hoping to go through every day being treated equally to my fellow man. And I feel like that's everyone's desire. I feel like if you're actively going out and rejecting someone's desire to be treated as equally as everyone else, whether it be because of the fact that they have a vagina, whether it be because they have more melanin in their skin, whether they have like a Mexican accent, that shit doesn't matter. Why does anyone else's genitals matter to you? Why does anyone else's sexual preference matter to you? Why does anyone else's colour matter to you? What is in your head that makes you so worried about generalising a group of people based on what they look and sound like? Because that's a problem with you, that's not with them. Here's the definition of a social justice warrior on Urban Dictionary.
Any individual that is defined by their constant attacking or addressing of anything they find inappropriate, offensive, or triggering in their eyes. People that promote and address the social issues that truly matter on social media should be applauded, but social justice warriors are in a league of their own. They repeatedly bash any content, even if it's innocent, and aggressively call for the downfall of the person who carelessly offended them. The real problem with social justice warriors is their superficial mentality. There are many issues that are heavily affecting many people across the world, but these individuals detract from many of the real problems by continuing to address and argue about meaningless topics in order to boost themselves in the eyes of their peers.
Mini-Stalinist? Excellent. People with paper-thin skin who always find something to be offended about. This is what I mean. When people think of feminists, I think what they're actually thinking of are social justice warriors. And I know this video is going to get all the dislikes in the world, so go ahead, smash that dislike button. I don't give a fuck. And the reason I feel like this way is because I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube recently. I know. Why would someone who actively spends a lot of time on YouTube be watching YouTube videos? Just can't think of the reason. I was watching these YouTube videos. I saw a couple of H3H3 reaction videos. There's that woman who went and screamed at that man for saying that his name was humongous, which is literally one of the stupidest things to ever happen to humanity. And she is ruining things for the rest of us feminists, because I don't consider her a feminist in any way. She's just a dick. And she's ruining things for feminists because she's become like an image of what we look like, and that's fucking ridiculous. I think we need to find a word other than feminist now. I think feminist has been ruined. I think feminist has been crushed by people, just like the way alt-right people look at people on the alt-left and vice versa. That branch of people has been demonized when a lot of them aren't that bad. I mean, there's a couple of real bad ones, but like, I mean, the second you get into Nazi territory, you cannot defend them. The second the word Nazi comes up, there is no defense for that. Trump. But aside from Nazis, everything else has sort of a grey area. Well, and the KKK, because that's just not good. But most things have a little bit of leeway either side. Feminists do, people on the right do, people on the left do. You know, there is some leeway. Not a whole lot in some cases, but there's a little bit. You can be someone on the right and not hate black people. What a surprise. You can be someone on the left and not support abortions. Again, that's totally fine. People are on a spectrum. Everything is a spectrum. Sexuality is a spectrum. Race is a spectrum. Everything's a spectrum. Okay? Feminism is a spectrum all of its own. And all the feminists are in the middle, except for social justice warriors and people who actively reject feminism but support feminist ideals. They just don't call themselves feminists. That's the scale. That's what it is. So aside from watching H3H3 reaction videos, the other thing that made me undeniably filled with rage was I discovered a website called Women Against Feminism. I do not need feminism because I do not need a leg up to succeed. I am equal in America. I can vote. I receive equal pay. I can get an equal education. I can run for office. I refuse to join a hate movement. Feminists have told me to kill myself, threatened me, told me I was told me I was a failed abortion, told me I was a disease to women, told me I should be raped. Yeah, those aren't feminists. Anyone who's told you to do that, not a feminist. Anyone who's told you to do that is, what's the word? An asshole. But at the same time, you're not needing feminism because you don't need a leg up, because you're equal in America, you can vote, you can receive equal pay, you can receive an education, you can run for office. Feminism isn't just about America. Feminism is it's a global thing. There are many women in many countries who have nothing, who are disrespected, who cannot vote, who cannot run for office, who have their spouses sexually assault them and it's not considered to be rape, which it should be in many places. So this feminism movement is not feminism in America, it's feminism everywhere. So just because you have those rights doesn't mean that you have the right to poo-poo someone else's right to get those rights. That sentence had a lot of rights in it. I don't need feminism because I am not a delusional, disgusting, hypocritical man-hater. I respect men and they respect me. Okay, if a feminist hates a man, that's not a feminist. That's the equivalent of someone in the alt-right versus someone in the right. Or someone in the KKK versus someone in the right. Or someone in, like, the alt-left. Is there an alt-left? Someone in the alt-left as opposed to someone in the left. Someone in PETA compared to someone who just likes animals. PETA is a whole different kettle of fish. Feminists don't hate men. Can I just... If you hate men, you're not a real feminist. That is not the point of feminism. I don't need third-wave Western feminism because I refuse to exploit my rape and my PTSD. I am not a victim. I never have been a victim. I never will be a victim. I was raped by one man, not men. I am a warrior. Now, this is the kind of woman where my views on anti-feminism get really blurred because she has a point. Of course she has a point. She doesn't want to feel like a victim. And if you're in the feminist movement and you're making women feel like a victim, fuck you. She's right, she is a warrior for having gotten through that, and she was raped by one man, not all men. But again, feminist does not equate to man-hater. It's a different thing. I don't need feminism because the men in my life care about and respect me. Awesome. What about all those men on the other, not near you, who don't care about and respect their women? Just because you specifically have men in your life that are great does not mean that all women do. Just like because one man specifically has women in his life that are great does not mean all men do. It's a fucking scale, guys. Just because something is good for you does not mean it's good for everyone else. Do you really have that little perspective? Are you serious? I don't need feminism because I made my own choice to be a stay-at-home mother and my working husband should not be harassed. Feminism is about your right to choose that. It's not about forcing you to be in the workforce. Feminism is about your right to choose whether you're a stay-at-home mother or whether you stay and work and your husband stays at home. That's what feminism is. It's your right to be able to choose between those choices. Jesus Christ. I don't need feminism because I believe in equality, not entitlements and supremacy. It's not what feminists are asking for. Maybe social justice warriors are asking for that. Feminists, not really. I don't need feminism because they reject femininity but try to feminite men and demand equality but ask for special treatment. No, they don't. Especially the bit about rejecting femininity. Again, feminism is about your right to choose whether you are feminine or whether you want to dress butcher or whether you want to do all these things. Just flashing my tits everywhere, which I'm allowed to do as a feminist. It's the one and only I don't need feminism because real feminism is about equal opportunity and respect for women, not abortions, free birth control, and the ability to walk around like a shameless slut while damning the male population. I don't even have words for that one. That one makes me want to cry because that's just rude, slut-shaming, and again, fundamental misunderstanding of what feminism is. We don't need feminism because oppression is universal and has far more to do with how wealthy your parents are rather than whether you were born without a Y chromosome. That's a different issue entirely! I don't need feminism because I love men. All of my friends are men. They're way nicer and less dramatic than most women, misspelling, especially feminists. What? I don't need feminism because I'm enjoying my role as a supportive wife. I love that my man is head of my household, and I value being a stay-at-home mum over slaving for a corporation while rejecting my family. Good for you! I'm so glad that feminism has benefited you in that way, so that you may be able to stay home and do those things. With pay. Awesome! Fuck me. I don't need feminism because I like to be treated like a lady by a gentleman. So what is she proposing? What is she proposing that women want then? Feminists are like, no, I want my gentlemen to be absolute assholes to me. That's my choice. Feminism. I don't need modern feminism because I believe in unconditional love and respect for all human beings, regardless of their gender, sexual orientation, religion, social status, race, favourite colour, etc. That is feminism! I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm out. I can't. It's killing me. Here's the thing. I think that people are mixing up feminism and social justice warriors. And I get that that's become the main sort of faction of feminism lately, but that's never what it was supposed to be. So I think we need to come up with a new banner to fly under as feminists. If you're not one of those feminists who goes around screaming at other women that they're doing it wrong, because again, that's not a feminist. You're just being a dick. I think we need to talk about this. I think we need to open a discussion on it rather than just labeling all feminists as women who scream in your face about abortions and tell you you're not allowed to be a stay-at-home mother, because those aren't feminists, they're just idiots. And we need to have a discussion with those women who are anti-feminists, who believe that all feminists are like that, because we need to tell them that that's not what they are. And I think we need a new word, because feminism has clearly been hijacked like Pepe the Frog. We need to discuss it and get it in an open forum and talk about it and really think about what it means to be a feminist, rather than just labeling it as something that a fringe group of people are doing louder than the other feminists. Like we do with, I don't know, the Black Lives Matter movement, or, I don't know, or Westboro Baptist Church. I don't blame all Christians for the actions of the Westboro Baptist Church. I don't blame the entire police force for the actions of a few racist cops hurting black people and minorities. Why are we as a society, constantly so focused on pinning blame on a huge group of people for a small group of people's actions. I don't want to blame all Muslims for ISIS because guess what? ISIS is barely Muslim. So we need to open a dialogue on this. We need to talk about it. We need to mention it to people, because I've had moments when I've talked about being a feminist, and the second you say the word feminist, people switch off. They're done with you because that's what their image of feminist is. And that's not right. And I'm annoyed about it. So I felt like I had to make a video about it. You're welcome. Still don't have an outro, so fuck me, I guess. Especially fuck me because I'm a feminist. I mean, fuck me.